Sidewalk ends. I guess it's time to be extreme.
Extreme!
Whoa. Nice! How you doing? Duff here. I'm on my Kingsong 16S, just pulling out of the house. And we are heading towards Ave Maria. Just planning to go to the entrance and back. I'm not venturing into the town. It's afternoon here. It's about 2 o'clock or so. And we're in the midst of a very, very warm weather pattern, especially for March. It's like 86 or 87 degrees in the shade. In the bright sun like this, it feels much warmer, obviously. So yeah, we're just gonna get out and ride, talk about some stuff, talk about the latest and greatest with COVID-19 and you. A very exciting topic that they hardly talk about at all in the news, right? It's hard, you gotta really channel surf to find information about COVID-19. All right, so how's your weekend been? I've been trying to be more socially distant. Yesterday, I am still going to Dunkin' Donuts, but it seems like Dunkin' Donuts now is strictly drive-through. So you got long drive-through lines, but people are still getting their coffee there, which is nice, I guess. I went to Home Depot yesterday, and they were metering entrance to the store. I actually stood in a small line. I guess when a certain amount of people leave, then a certain amount of people are allowed to come in. And you're only allowed to come in the one entrance, and they directed you to a far, the contractor side to exit. You couldn't. They didn't want people coming in and out the same entrance, and they had yellow squares or yellow X's on the floor and tape at the checkout registers, indicating what a 6-foot barrier looked like. So yeah, that was a change from last week. It's getting more and more restricted, but you know, it seems like desperate times need desperate measures, I guess, because if one thing is clear, or at least in our area, you cannot trust people to do the right thing on a large scale basis. That seems 100% true. So I am running the EUC World app, and I have my Pebble watch on, but for whatever reason it's not connecting to my phone. So I don't have real-time speed on my wrist. You know, I didn't feel like digging into it before I left, so I guess I got to pull my phone out if I want to check my speed. I'm doing, like, last time I checked, 24, 25, which is a very comfortable speed on the 16X. So there was a couple times last week where it seemed like for sure, or at least the rumor was for sure, we're going to go through a yellow light here. The rumor was that the county I live in was going to declare their own shelter-in-place order. The governor of Florida has thus far been hesitant to do so. So there have been various counties in the state that have taken matters into their own hands. Like, for example, Miami-Dade, you know, where it's starting to get out of control a little bit. And they've done their own shelter-in-place order. So twice yesterday, or twice last week, supposedly that was going to happen, and twice the commissioners decided not to do so. The most recent meeting was on Friday, and they said, hey, we're just gonna go on whatever the governor says. If the governor decides that it's time to do a shelter-in-place, we'll do it. Otherwise, we're just gonna continue on as we are, which is still, you know, obviously they want everyone to stay stay put, more or less, unless you have to go out. But they haven't done the, you know, closing all non-essential businesses deal yet. So even though a shitload of stuff is closed, but there's still a shitload of stuff that's open too. So basically the Cliff Notes version is we're kind of in a holding pattern. I guess until something really shitty happens. You guys might be wondering why the front of my 16X looks different. It's because I have a 3D printed nose guard on the front there. My thought process was it's something similar as far as, if there's an accident and that area hit the ground, the nose guard would take the brunt of the energy, the initial energy impact, hopefully, and somewhat preserve was underneath it. Originally, my thought was I was going to be making a kickstand, but it doesn't really work. The way that the 16X stand is designed, and we have people just hanging out here. Hey guys, the way the 16X shell is designed, if you rotate it forward, you're gonna stop on that flat area right above the cutout of the tire. And actually, I don't know if you've ever tried this, but your 16X will stand on its own. It's not a real wide base that it's on, so it could get knocked over, but it will stand on its own. It's freestanding. And I so far have not been able to come up with a 3D design that didn't look incredibly clunky and stupid. So the best I could do is just come up with a little nose guard piece. So it makes my wheel look a little bit different, if nothing else. So although the governor did not do a shelter-in-place order, he did announce restrictions on people traveling to Florida from the greater New York City area, which there have been thousands of that have been doing that. Basically, they're saying there's a mandatory 14-day quarantine if you are arriving in the area from the New York City area. Originally, he was just talking about screening air travel. But then I believe Friday, he said that in addition, they also are going to be having checkpoints on roads entering the state as well. So, to me, that's probably more lip service than anything. The odds of them doing anything significant there is slim. And again, it's not like they're going to have anybody watching these people to make sure that they quarantine themselves. It's kind of like the honor system, and you know how most people do with the honor system. They're not very honorable. As far as what I've been doing personally, I've been wearing my buff more. Like on Thursday and Friday, we were doing stuff, moving the branch to a new location. That office was filled with a bunch of workers and contractors, and I had my buff on. Now, my buff is not a medical grade protection device, so I have no illusions that it's going to give me anywhere near the protection that something like an N95 mask does. But it's better than nothing, and it prevents me from touching my face directly. If I would have something on my hands, and give me at least some layer of defense, from stuff floating in the air, hopefully. And my viewpoint is I'd rather do something than nothing, because unfortunately you have no idea what other people are doing, how careful or careless they are being with their actions. Are they washing their hands? Are they being socially distant at all times? You have no idea of knowing. So the only way you can protect yourself is to control what you do. So that's what I've been trying to do. I have hand sanitizer in my vehicles, of course, and whenever I'm in a situation where I'm out in public touching anything, I'm sanitizing when I get back in the car. When I've been getting home, because Cindy has been home all this time, before I sit down for the night, I have been taking a shower, throw my clothes directly in the laundry, take a shower, and then take another shower before bed. So, I'm trying to do what I can. But it certainly does not mean that I am impervious to it, that's for sure. If anything has been proven, this COVID-19 is extremely contagious. Very easily passed compared to the normal common flu. One thing that's definitely been rough, being socially distant isn't all that hard for me. It kind of comes naturally. I'm not a fan of crowds. I don't have a need to be around lots of people on a regular basis. Some people do, but that's not me. But what has sucked is, Katie and Cindy have agreed to stay away from each other to, again, try to isolate themselves from, potentially getting sick. So, like, we haven't had Katie or DJ over in 10 days, maybe, I don't know, close to 2 weeks, and that's a bummer. I miss DJ, of course. I miss my little buddy. So it's hard not seeing them. And, unfortunately, I see things getting worse before they get better. So who knows what the future holds, man. I'm not an optimistic person by nature, and nothing has happened in the last week to make me feel optimistic. But that's just me. I'll tell you one thing that COVID-19 has not affected whatsoever, and that's my 3D electric unicycle stand store. You guys have been ordering stands like crazy. Thank you. I appreciate it. Lots of orders in March. So I don't know if it's because spring's coming and people are getting back out on their wheels again. But yeah, there's been tons and tons of activity on the store. So thank you very much. I appreciate it very much. So obviously, the outbreak has put a damper on my gym activities since all gyms are closed. So I've been trying to make do, still trying to run. I've been doing workouts in the parking garage at the gym. I think I talked about that during my one-wheel ride this week. Been doing that. And Cindy and I have also been getting out on our mountain bikes and just riding around our area. There's lots of lightly traveled roads and paths that we've been exploring on our mountain bikes, so that's kind of fun too. And mountain bikes are quite heavy. They're not easy to pedal, so you get a decent workout. We've done that twice in the last week, and we both find it enjoyable. Once I got into PEVs, bike riding definitely has taken a back seat, but there is something different and enjoyable about riding a bike at a more leisurely pace, with the added bonus of actually getting a significant exercise contribution as well. Something that you just don't get a whole lot of when you're riding an EUC. I gotta be a little careful here on the 16X. Just from riding the MSX, now, my body is used to being able to go 30 miles an hour, low 30s, and not have a concern. The 16X feels comfortable at speed as well. And I could, it feels like I could do that, but of course, if I try to go 33, 34 miles an hour on a 16X, I'm in for a world of hurt. So, need to be conscious of that, definitely. Feels great though. 16X really does well open road cruising, as long as you have the tire pressure right. At least that's been my experience. 26, 27 PSI works just about perfectly for me. This is what a lot of the Ave Maria ride looks like. Dead straight, farmland, some beautiful power poles, and not a whole lot more. Man, it's hot. Just too hot for March, man. Should not be this hot. I'm trying to think, EUC news-wise, I haven't heard anything that exciting. I know Inmotion is coming out with a new wheel, and Kingsong is as well. I believe a new 18-inch wheel is what Kingsong's working on, but I don't know a lot of details. I've not had an opportunity to, dig around in the sites much lately. I spent all my time, looking for hand sanitizer, paper towels, and toilet paper. And that takes up probably 80% of my waking hours. So if you have familiarity with my channel, you've been a subscriber for a while, seen a lot of my videos, you probably know that I am a very pro-animal person. I just, you know, that's the main reason. Well, that really is the reason I'm a pescatarian. I don't eat beef, pork, poultry, or I guess that's the beef, pork, or poultry. I don't eat those. Just because I'm just, I don't know. I love animals. Let's just simplify and just say I love animals. So we've had a problem out in our coop with palm rats being very destructive. And I have been live trapping them again because I don't want to hurt them. I just want to relocate them. I've been live trapping them. And I've probably caught, I don't know, half a dozen of them so far, at least, something like that. I saw a few little heads popping around last week, so I baited the traps Friday night. And then came Saturday morning, I saw a trap was closed, but I saw something half hanging out the other side of the trap. I'm like, what the hell? I get closer, and it's a baby palm rat that evidently got stuck in there, but then tried to wedge its way out through the little openings in the wire. And if you saw how small the openings in the wire are, you wouldn't believe that it ever even got its head through. But it got its head and its upper torso through and then got stuck. And I thought it was dead, because it wasn't really moving much. I go over there and look at it closer, and the baby palm rat is still alive. I'm like, oh my God, this is the worst nightmare for me. So what I wound up doing was taking the trap and supporting the baby palm rat so he wasn't just like hanging over the edge. Took him up to the garage, and very carefully with wire snips, I basically destroyed the cage and eventually was able to cut the wire away from his body so he wasn't trapped. But after I cut him loose, he still was very lethargic. I'm sure he injured himself trying to wedge his body through that ridiculously small space. So anyways, what I wound up doing was I had him sitting in a bucket on a paper towel with some chicken food and a little thing of water, just to hope that he would rebound. And who knows, maybe he would eventually. But then what I did is I went and I took him to the same spot that I took the other animals, the other rodents that I caught, put him on the paper towel, stuffed under the brush with the food and the water, and crossed my fingers that he makes a recovery. It's unlikely, but just that kind of scenario, where something I did, even though it's inadvertent, caused that kind of damage or potentially lethal injury to the animal. It breaks my heart. It really does. All right, we are rolling up quickly on the entrance to Ave Maria. Like I said, I'm not planning to go in there today. We're just gonna hit the entrance and turn around, head back. It's later in the afternoon. It's hot, and there is a possibility that I might go ride later with Cindy and Deb somewhere. I don't know if that'll actually happen or not, but that was discussed. So just in case, we will conserve our endurance. All right, let's see what EUC World's saying. Okay, so it's only 2:36. Means I did pretty good. Come on, let me sign in, will you? Ah, Jesus. No, I don't want. No. Okay. Holy crap! Top speed 28.5 miles an hour. It did feel like I was hauling ass there at a few points. Average speed 21.3. Says the distance is 12.86 miles, but that's a little high. I know EUC World is a little generous with the distance. So says I have 60% battery remaining. All right. So that was very high speed. So let's go that way. Bye, Ave Maria. See you again soon. I think I mentioned in the community section of my YouTube channel, so not a whole lot of people see that, is there could be a unexpected collaboration between me and another pretty well-known YouTuber, at least in the EUC world. There could be another a collaboration coming up in the next week or so. We'll see. I think it'll surprise some people. I think it'll be cool. So stay tuned. Opting for the path instead of the bike lane. I've noticed when I hold the selfie stick and my left hand behind me, it induces some wobble into my ride for some reason. Any other position, it seems fine, but back there, yeah, it makes me wobbly. Hi. Those things just don't look fun to me. I see them on a pretty regular basis down here in Southwest Florida, but I just, I don't know. Not appealing. I think they're called elliptigo or something like that. But I think the ones that I've seen are 2 wheels, like a bike. That actually had 3 wheels. It was like a trike. So that is slightly different. I still don't want one. One other thing I wanted to take a second to thank the audience for is I noticed a number of you have been using my my code when you're buying wheels from eWheels. You know, we get notified whenever someone does that, and there's been a number of people that have done that recently, so thank you. I appreciate you using it. In the link or in the description of all my videos is my link that you can use, my affiliate link for eWheels. So yeah, it doesn't cost you anything extra. Jason usually throws in a couple spiffs for using those links. So if you've done that, thank you. If you're thinking about doing it, thank you in advance. This fencing right here you see on either side of the road is actually for panthers. This is panther fencing to make it very difficult for panthers to cross in this area, because this is a panther habitat, Florida panthers. Right knee is hurting today for some reason. Maybe it's because from the biking this morning, I don't know. But any bumps I'm hitting do not feel good right now. Sidewalk ends. I guess it's time to be extreme.
Extreme.
Whoa! Nice! Nailed it, man. Nailed it. One thing Cindy and I did to help pass the time, you know, like most people are doing, is streaming content. And we just got done watching Tiger King, the Netflix documentary that lots of people are talking about. It's kind of crazy. The whole story and everything involved is pretty damn crazy. And if I took anything out of the series, it's that if you own tigers and lions, you're probably crazy. That seemed to be a consistent storyline throughout the whole thing. But it's enjoyable, it's entertaining, it's funny. Check it out. Some sort of car show going on. Just got passed by Ferrari, a Cobra, some Mercedes AMG Hammers, Porsche. They definitely were all together. Definitely. Getting very thirsty. I have visions of a White Claw going through my head right now. I believe I will be enjoying one while I edit this video. At this point, at this point we're over 20 miles into the ride, and my feet are burning. That's a pretty consistent mile marker for me. After 20 miles, my feet start to really get uncomfortable, but what happens is they eventually will go numb, and then you don't feel anything, so that's good, right? Isn't that a song? You're resting on my shoulder right now. This is actually quite comfortable. I don't know visually if it looks interesting at all, but it's comfortable for me. We're 4 miles from home, something like that. Looking forward to it. See the lovely grass, various colors of brown. We are firmly in the middle of Florida's dry season. Hasn't rained here in, I bet, at least 3 weeks, maybe closer to a month, I don't know. But this is what happens in Florida. It's funny, everyone thinks of Florida and, torrential rain. And yeah, during summer, that's true. But during winter, it is almost desert dry at certain points of the year, which is kind of crazy. No rain whatsoever. And I think there's a remote possibility that we might get a little bit towards the end of the week, maybe, but it's not going to be anything significant. All right, going to do what I normally do and cut off into the school here, go the back way through the development. Give me a little bit of a change of pace, slower speeds, all that jazz. Okay, in the home stretch, back on a Mockley Road. All right, we're back. Let's see what EUC World says. If I could only. All right, about 29% battery. It says 25.61 miles. Again, probably a little high in the mileage in the app. It's at 115 degrees. Top speed during the ride. Wow, I actually went a little bit faster at a point on the way back. 28.9 miles an hour top speed. Average riding speed 23.6. So I was hauling some ass. So anyways, hope you found this ride interesting, not too boring. I just kind of wanted to, share my COVID-19 experiences with everybody. Feel free to share your experiences in the comments below. If you found this video interesting, please give it a big thumbs up. If this is your first time visiting the channel, please think about subscribing. And if you're going to subscribe, you might as well hit the notify bell, which is over here last time I checked. As I already said about the comments, yeah, let me know what's going on with you guys. Definitely not fun. Definitely encourage everybody to practice social distancing and other recommended CDC practices wherever possible. It's not fun. No one likes being restricted, but it's necessary, guys. And sometimes you just got to suck it up and do what's necessary. So that's all I have for you for now. Till next time, Duffman out. Good Lord, it's hot. Saw me blocking the code there, right? Oh. Cindy's car is not here. I wonder where she went. I don't know. Elsa! Elsa, are you here? You're here. All right, Elsa's here. Yay, Elsa, yay.